You look amazing, by the way. Are you able to maybe, I know what you're wearing because I am from the same country as you are, but are you able to maybe just share with our audience what are you wearing and what does it actually represent?
Okay, the name is Xola. I am a Xhosa, but I have 4 different heritages that make me. My great-grandmother is Khoisan and my mom is Xhosa. My dad is Swati and half Zulu. So I'm a mix. So what I'm wearing today, this is called Ibai in the Xhosa nation. Ibai is what a mother gives you or uses to cover their child when they carry them on their back. But now there's modern bais where you can carry your child in front. So it's like a carrier of a child. And I got this because today I'm with my mom. And this is Ikhankasi. It's a beauty bead. How the patterns are shaped into a diamond is to remind you that you are a diamond. But because you're a diamond, life is not always going to be easy for you. You're going to be sharpened. You are coming from dirt, but you're going to shine bright and people are going to notice you. So this is Ikhankas.
Oh, beautiful. You look amazing.
Thank you.
But you know, it's no wonder that you have intentionally come dressed like this because you all come from, so South Africa is divided into 9 provinces, right? So 9 provinces would be like, I think you understand what provinces are, states in the US, whatever, but like we have 9 provinces. And where Xola comes from, she comes from the Eastern Cape. And you come from very close to the sea. But the Eastern Cape is a province that, you know, people that are from there stand on the shoulders of giants. Nelson Mandela is from the Eastern Cape. Oliver Tambo is from the Eastern Cape. Many of the liberators of South Africa come from the Eastern Cape. And they're have a very proud heritage. So yeah, you are definitely representing them tonight. Thank you so much for your time, Xola. I know that you come from a family of teachers. Your mom was a teacher, your dad was a teacher, but you were not really convinced of this profession. Tell us about that.
I was convinced. They were not convinced I could do it. They could, okay, so growing up, like all kids, we play house, we play teacher, we play social work, we play doctor. I thought that, I'm going to be a nurse. We had a career day. They took us to the public hospital. Because I was a teacher's child, I was very privileged not to have actually experienced public hospitals, especially public hospitals who had lack of resources. So my school thought it was a great idea to take us to one of the under-resourced public schools, hospitals. And then we went there. And let's just say, I realized that nursing is not going to be for me because of the amount of blood and the pain I saw and the smell and just realizing that it takes more than just wearing the white, cute outfit to be a nurse. That's like, no, I'm going to be a pilot. A pilot. It's about a pilot, teacher. You know, pronunciation in South Africa. My grandmother used to say, no school for pronunciation, school for spelling. If you can spell it, it's okay. How you say it, don't mind it. All right. So, and then I was like, Mama, I'm going to be a pilot. My mom was like, wait. One day I said, I'm going to be a lawyer. So, like, I don't think when I was growing up, they really cared what I was going to be. All they cared about is that I must have a degree. Because my mind was made up every other week. One day, I was like, I'm going to be a media mogul. I just heard the word mogul, and I said, hey, mogul. Yeah. It means rich, you know. Yeah. So, yeah, that's it. And my mom felt that I would say the wrong things in the classroom, and sometimes maybe the children would want to hit me, or I might not get along with the school principal because I question a lot of things that I shouldn't be questioning. And she also felt that because I talk too much, I might also be arrested, I might be a political rebel. So they always felt like, no, we know you speak, we know you love people, but try to serve people in another manner. You're in education, no.
And this is why you then studied political sciences.
Yes.
You persuaded a degree there, but still there was a void in you. You're like, okay, fine, I'm good at this, but I think I'm better at something else.
Yes, because my mom always described me as ikepe,
What does that
a
mean?
spoon. Uphethu-phethwe, meaning that they are carrying you, but you're carrying something else.
Please, elaborate.
I wish I could have a spoon to show you. Okay, give me a spoon. One, just one. To pet and pet, meaning I'm carrying you and you are carrying. As like I'm ruling you, like the hand is ruling the spoon. But the spoon, but this one is not for the spoon, I can see. But the spoon still carries its own authority. That's the concept. So I was told that because I don't conform to a lot of things, it might be difficult to get into teaching because I might not agree with the syllabus. I might question the methods because I might have a different opinion. So my mom always said, I understand you're a leader, but you also need to be led. And you're a difficult person to lead because you're making the hand of the person carrying you heavy with what you are carrying.
Right. It's funny because then you helping your mom with her postgrad.
By force?
Yeah, well, but you helping her with the postgrad really also ignited something in you where you're like, no man, I like what this being taught here and I think I can do it.
Yes, because remember my mom was learning, it was 2009, and she was doing HIV and AIDS in education with Stellenbosch. So I come from a community where HIV and AIDS is really a big destroyer of dreams and of people, and there was a lot of stigma and a lot of people were dropping out, and my mom was a high school teacher. A lot of kids were dropping out because they have to take care of their mom or their dad or a sick family member, or some of them were also getting very sick because it is a very rural area in the Eastern Cape where those who have money use their power and influence to lure in young boys and young girls into a life they're not ready for, where they end up being pregnant or being infected with HIV or any other disease. And for my mom, she felt like she wants to understand and she wanted for people to know how it affects education. It's not just a social phenomenon, it's just not a government problem. But the problem with her is that she sits like this, guys, in the dining table. I'm here with a laptop. She doesn't understand plagiarism. Yeah, and also put there that these children are vulnerable. Where is the theory to back that up? Hey, but you see it, Xola, they are vulnerable.
Take the market.
Okay. So I was like, oh, this woman, she doesn't understand. Yes, what you're saying is true. That's a primary source, but we need a secondary source as well. Where's the data? No, I can tell you. That house, mama, there's a Poppy Act, you can't. Those are people's names, you can't put people's names on your paper. So, and because I'm helping her with her assignments, so I have to be the person now who goes and understand the developmental psychology of children, the learning abilities and disabilities and challenges. So now I'm getting into educational psychology. Now I'm getting into understanding teaching and learning, that it's not just about standing in front of the children, because my mom also, she's the last born of 7 children. She's a breadwinner. She's the only one who graduated college. So, and she's also dealing with a lot of other pressures at home, in the community, at church, and watching some of her favorite students dropping out because of this disease. But she probably doesn't get along with one colleague or somebody did something, but she still needs to stand in front of the classroom and still deliver.
Your mom is quite instrumental in your life, I can tell.
Yes.
But when you then got the opportunity to move abroad to come to Hong Kong, she was like, nah, girl. Actually, not even Hong Kong, just to move abroad to come and teach, right? She wasn't really convinced about your story because you were like, I'm going. And yet you found, I guess, empowerment. You found your voice in your sister, your late sister, Ubongo.
Yeah.
Tell us about that. Tell us about, how that moved you to say yes to this opportunity of coming abroad to teach.
Because Bongo and I used to dream of us living in Barbados. And I still don't know where Barbados is on the map. So Bongo and I were convinced we were going to be flight attendants at some point. We're going to travel the world. And with her passing, and I realized that she's one of the children that my mom fought for, even though she didn't realize. Because my mom used to, when children fell pregnant in the community, she would go to those families who chase away young girls for teenage pregnant to say, oh, well, she's pregnant, and so what? She needs to go back to school. She still has a dream. And Bongo became that. She also got pregnant very young, still in high school. And when my mom was like, I sent you to school to go and start, because they are hypocrites, they must, right? So I sent you to school. I'm no longer sending you to school because you got pregnant. And Bongo said, but being pregnant in school is not the same thing. Pregnant, I give birth, I leave the child with you, you become a grandmother, I go back to school, So when she passed away, I was facing other difficulties in my life, but then I was like, am I really living? What would have Bongo done? Bongo wanted to travel the world. Bongo wanted to break the stereotypes that just because you got pregnant in high school does not mean you'll never succeed. In our community where having a boyfriend or getting married young is the status quo, getting an education, you're being laughed at because there's so many graduates sitting at Kamkwelanga, like sitting outside, like a degree is just a paper, like where you're being told, and you see people that were excellent, people who were on newspapers, but they're drinking alcohol, they're going into drugs, like not a lot of role models, especially in our generation, was making it. So I had to think that Bongo said this will not be our story. So I was already married, I had 2 children, I was working a job that was very, very stressful, high pressure environment. And then one day I just woke up and I said, I want to leave for Bongo. Bongo wanted to go overseas. We dreamed, I'm going to go. I resigned. I packed my bags. I left my kids. People like, your kids are so young. Why would you go abroad? I was like, being a mother doesn't mean I died.
Your youngest was how old at that time?
I think Kumo was 2 years old.
And you then moved to Vietnam.
I moved to Vietnam.
Vietnam was a bit of a shock for you because it was the first time that you were abroad, let alone in Asia. Take us through those moments. What was the biggest shock, I think?
The biggest cultural shock in Vietnam is that the same mop they use to mop the floor, they will use it in the same sink with the dishes. They'll take the mop. Those socks they give you in the learning center, because you take off your shoes in Asia, right? But they also don't want you to get foot fungus or your feet to be, your sole to get, hard. So they'll give you socks to walk around in socks. I once went to the kitchen and I found one of the socks that a teacher was wearing next to my cup inside the sink.
No.
And the lady is just there greeting me. Xin chào.
No,
like, what are we xin chowing about? So, why is there socks next to my cup? Those were the funny parts. But then I realized that for them, because they know they are so clean, they don't associate things from the floor and on the cupboard as dirt. But for us, we associate things from the floor to the sink as dirt. But they are so clean, they are so cleansy. It's not that those socks had dust or there were dirt underneath. They were clean, but I know that someone wore them in my mind.
Yeah.
And Vietnam also.
The one thing that you also do mention is the culture shock in the classroom. So you started teaching, how old were they again, the kids?
I started teaching. My first class was a group of 5-year-olds who cried because they thought I'm chocolate, and then when they tried to bite me, I was not sweet.
And they also tried to...
Lick me.
Yes.
And yeah, they've tried to lick me, they've tried to bite me, because apparently the parents had explained to them that I'm chocolate. I look like chocolate. So they would be like, and I'm like, and I would ask the Vietnamese TAs, which are teachers' assistant, why are they crying? Like, they're saying you're not sweet. I'm like, but I'm a sweet person. I'm very sweet, I'm loving, I'm playing with them. They said, no, like, you don't taste like sugar.
And this is like in 2019, right?
2019.
So it's not that long ago.
No, it's not that long ago.
But what was also fascinating was that there was also a conflict with your voice, the sort of like decibel that your voice reaches. You were just too loud in the classroom, and that would scare children.
Yes, it would. They would cry. Because remember, I'm teaching 5-year-olds.
Let's also regulate your decibel here. So like, take it back. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, there you go. Now we can hear you.
I'm not used to these things. Okay, so I would say, like, one of the funny things with children is that they want you to be the clown. They enjoy you being the clown. But they don't understand the clown can be a joker, right? You know, as in Joker, the mean clown.
Yeah.
So they would be like, and I'm like, yay!
I got scared.
Because, like, they are climbing on top of a table. They're going to jump and get hurt. I do not want to answer to the police. I don't want a police report. They're kids, they're playing, but they might get injured.
So those are some of the things that you had to obviously navigate and learn and unlearn. But the one thing that you also did appreciate about Vietnam is how educators are celebrated and respected.
If I can take Vietnam mentality and bring to Hong Kong, most teachers will not be depressed. Yes. Compared to Kenya and compared to Africa.
Sorry, who's asking that question back there? Okay.
I'll say compared to Kenya and Africa.
No, but I think let's talk about that, because it's something that you really marveled at, about how, you mentioned a situation where because you're an educator, you would be allowed to go first in line.
Yes.
That there was that just that
I was a queen. So in Vietnam, the culture for me was very nice in the sense that when they see a foreign national, whether you're Caucasian, whether you're African, they automatically assume you're a teacher. You could be there on a business and be a tourist. So the treatment that I would get is I would still be standing in line, like, oh, teacher, just pass by. Or if I'm sitting in a cafe and they've noticed I've been sitting longer, I'll just get an iced coffee or milk tea or bubble milk tea. Teacher, try it, it's nice, So they would literally just send compliments to you. You would be walking in the mall, students who actually had very positive relationships with other teachers, you would see them, you don't teach the student, you don't know the child is a 6-year-old, 4-year-old, they would run and hug your legs and be like, hello teacher, my name is, be excited to speak with you. The old people in Vietnam, especially the Grab drivers, when you order a Grab or get on the scooter, and the minute you say, oh, you're from South Africa, they say Namfi, and you're like, yeah. Oh, Nelson Mandela, Amanda, So I always felt, even though I was in part of Asia, it didn't feel like Asia. But one thing about also the Vietnamese culture is that they're not pretentious. When they don't like you, you will feel it, and you will see it, and they will tell you.
But fast forward, we are now in Hong Kong, and this is where you've settled as a teacher again. But the script has shifted.
Very much.
What's the biggest surprise that you have seen as an educator where you realize, okay, fine, things are moving differently for you?
We are in business here. I pay you. I'm not going to give you the resources, but I'm going to pay you. I'm not going to prepare you for the quality of students you are going to receive, but I'm paying you. Paying you means I owe you.
What are you then doing to... I can imagine that has an effect on you, right? That has an effect on you emotionally as a person who, you came from two pillars that were teachers. Teaching has clearly been in your bloodstream for a while. And then you go to a place like Vietnam and you realize, well, this is exactly what I want to do. And then you come here and you realize, well, this is a business. What have you done, Xola, to still do what you love?
I think because I've been in a position of abundance and I've been in a position of scarcity. And I recognize that Hong Kong is a big opportunity and it's what I make of it. I don't have to conform. I've never conformed. So even when I do feel like I'm being owned, I'll flip the script. I'll be like, I'm happy to dance as long as we get this. Can we get that? Oh, you don't have it? I have it. Can I get it? So I've realized in Hong Kong, if you are going to fight the battles, if you are going to go with your Shaka Zulu mentality, you're not going to get it right. Here, you literally have to take your degrees, put them on the floor, and bring the human element, because it is very much lacked. Meet them at their humanity. No matter how rich they act, no matter how ignorant they act, meet them at their humanity. The human element is very important.
It also speaks to the flexibility. How important is it that you have to be flexible as an educator?
In Hong Kong, being flexible as an educator is the status quo. For yourself, more than it is for the children or the school or the leaders. You have to be flexible. Being rigid is not going to get you anywhere. You're going to be frustrated and you might end up hating your job. You are going to meet resistance. You are going to meet students who question things. This is one of the things I love about Hong Kong, because they don't take it laying down. They themselves have questions. And even though it might not be encouraged that much, but it's your responsibility as a teacher to hear the question and to probe for more. So I feel like for me, I teach my kids greeting. Most simple thing. You come into a class, you greet me. You pass me in the passage, you greet me. You see the cleaning auntie, you greet her. You see the bus driver, you greet them. You see the security at the door, you greet.
What do you think that does? What do you think, and why do you think it's important? Why do you do that?
Because it brings the human element back. Because how am I, sorry.
Clap, go ahead.
For example, I used to struggle when I first came to Hong Kong, when I remember I used to have teach RWI. It's another program very great for teaching phonics. So if they're at a certain stage, like if they're in green level or pink level, the students need to be reading partners. So one student needs to hold the pen or the pointer for the other student to read out the sounds. But when you group them, they don't want to do the group work. They don't want to work together. They don't want to talk to each other. Why? Because you came in, you sat there, you kept quiet, you didn't greet me. You came in, said quiet. We've been in this class for 6 months. I don't know you, you don't know me. I know your name because I remember it when the teacher calls you, but I don't know you. There's no relationship. So with the students that I would enforce, like even though the training does not say greeting, you are just told the step 1 to step 8 of how to teach the course, but none of it has any human element. It's so rigid. I had to be flexible enough to say when my kids come into the class, high five, hello, hi, greet your partner, ask them how they're doing. Are you happy today? Are you ready to learn? Are we going to pass today? Are we going to do great? Give them that energy. And it was easier for younger kids now to get along. In my high school now, when I used to shift students because of the noise making or because of they are not performing well when they are sitting next to a friend, I used to receive a lot of resistance from the students that I don't want to sit next to this person, crying, going to this principal, making a big mess, getting their parents involved. Now, I move children around in most classes, even where I'm not the homeroom teacher, with ease, because in those lessons that I do have with them, they've learned that their classroom is their community. And when another student has been absent for 2 days, I ask them, even though the officers informed me why the student, where is Jennifer, for example? Where's Jennifer? We don't know. How can you not know? Jennifer sits next to you Monday to Friday. Where's Jennifer?
Yeah. Is that something that you, I mean, I know you weren't a teacher at home in South Africa, but do you think that is something that you have learned as a student in South Africa? The sense of like, you know, being responsible for the next person. And for example, you know, just greeting. That's the one shock for me personally when I got to Hong Kong. I'm like, people just don't say hi. I'm like, how do you just like walk past someone and not say hi? You know, in isiZulu, the language that I speak, hi is sawubona, which means I see you. That's it. Like, I see you. I see you. I'm not asking about your health. I'm not asking how much you got in the bank. I just see you. It's just acknowledgement that I'm not going past wind. I'm not going past a wall. I'm going past someone. And then when I get here, I'm like, nobody sees me. And it's not because I'm black or what. It's just nobody sees anybody here. Like no one is saying hi. Yeah, you know what I mean? You see me, girl? Thank you.
I think it's who you are. Your character, bring your character to the classroom. You don't have to perform. You can perform at the interview. But in the classroom, bring your character. Bring yourself. And make sure that you own the space you walk into. If you like a space with positive energy, bring your positive energy. Don't complain about, oh, this place is so toxic. Be the light you want to see. Be it, live it. So for me in the classroom, I don't care even if I heard, well, like for example, if 2 girls fight or 2 boys fight, I don't care who started it. Both of you are punished because you reacted, you participated. And tomorrow, I don't want to see you fighting again. It's not always practical, but it does help them to see each other. It does help them to have a bigger sense of community. It does help even the students that are normally very quiet, who we've heard reports that they were suicidal, not feel suicidal anymore. We've heard students, but you know some students do take advantage of the, oh, well, I'm not okay mentally just because they want to go see their boyfriends and skip school. But, you know, we're all teenagers, we've done some things, you know, that benefits us based on the disadvantages or the advantages that we had. But I believe that you cannot be a teacher that does not lead with true character. You cannot be your CV in the classroom. You are not your accolades in the classroom. You are not your social status or position in the classroom. In the classroom, you are there to learn as much as you are there to teach.
As much as we learn, we also have to unlearn, Xola. What have you had to unlearn in the classroom or even outside the classroom?
Yeah. I've had to unlearn the hardest thing, caring. I've had to stop caring. I've had to stop caring how the student will perceive me and focus on what the student needs. It's so easy to want to be loved by students because when they love you, you feel the warmth, you feel secure. I had to stop caring whether they're angry with me or not, because I need them to get to that point where I know they can excel in. So I needed to stop caring in the fact that now they are angry with me. Now they don't like me anymore. Now they don't joke with me anymore. Now they don't answer my questions. I had to stop caring about how the students perceived me and started caring about what I can give them and what I can learn from them. The relationship had to be a tit for tat. So now they know that I tell them all the time that you could be the best student to the whole school. You could be very popular, you could be loved. I could really joke with you and love you. But I'm not going to give you an A when you deserve a D based on my relationship with you. You are not going to excel because you're close with me. You're going to excel because you pushed yourself to excellence. And with that comes a lot of resistance, because a lot of brilliant kids think that because they know and everybody knows that they are brilliant, they can just do the bare minimum and they'll always be brilliant. But it doesn't work like that. You need to sharpen the saw.
Xola, of course, you are teaching kids that come from very different and diverse backgrounds. You've mentioned the business aspect of education in Hong Kong, and I can imagine, parents are paying very high fees, and it would also mean that parents are very well off, and sometimes parents are not always there. Tell us about the importance of raising teachable kids. What sort of advice would you give to parents that are listening or that will listen at some point for them to raise teachable kids at home? Because a child, for them to be ill-disciplined in the classroom, it surely starts at home.
Charity begins at home. I would say parents need to teach their kids that children no. Just because it's there doesn't mean you deserve it. Teach your children to learn that there's a time to say yes and there's a time to say no. Because children who don't understand no are very difficult to teach. Children who cannot handle rejection. Children who cannot handle criticism. I'm not saying tear down your child. For example, the example that I usually make when I talk to my kids, I would tell them that Butlali, your name is Butlali, it means wisdom. It means you are brilliant. Your actions are stupid right now. They don't reflect your name. Stop doing stupid things.
Get yourself together.
Get yourself together. I'm like that in the class as well with the girls. It's like, as pretty as you are, the most stupid thing you can do is ignoring school rules that are there to protect you.
But what do you mean the girls? What about the boys? What do you say to the boys?
I tell them, hi, Bo, why are you looking so... you're too handsome for that. Tuck in your shirt.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm always like, to the boys and to the girls, girls, tie your hair. I know it's gorgeous, but just protect it. Girls, that's too short. Boys, no way. There's no way. That hair, why are you hiding your face? You don't want the girls to see your eyes? Just cut it a bit. So how you communicate with students also depends on how they perceive you. I have students that I know, once I say one word to them, all hell is going to break loose. They are just waiting because they believe that, oh, we already know that Miss X is too strict. Oh, Miss X would they would hear me reprimand another child and they would have that attitude that she can never try that with me. And then when I try it with them, they will try to show off. And I'll be looking at them and be like,
Yo. Hi, Miss X. Very scary.
So I've never
question,
had...
Last question from me, and I'll open up the floor to some more questions. Surely there's also a good side, right? I mean, I feel like you do have fun. In fact, I've met one of your students before, and I was just so intrigued about the relationship that you have with these students. They clearly think that you are quite carefree, friendly, and they're very comfortable around you. But what I really want to know is, what's been the most rewarding aspect of your teaching journey, Xola?
So students fall into their true character. Not pleasing parents, not pleasing friends, not doing it for the likes. Seeing children step into their true character, seeing children take a chance on what they thought they couldn't do, seeing them come out of the shell more, but most importantly, seeing them meet and exceed some academic milestones that they would not necessarily would have achieved if nobody told them that you are not failing because you cannot do it. You are failing because you don't want to do it. And you've accepted that this is what you are going to produce. Because you've had so many D's in your report cards, now you think the D stands for distinction. That's not a distinction.
Further from that. Wow. Okay, let's open up the floor to some questions.
Okay, so I have a question for you, or for all the teachers here, right? So I left China when I was 10, and actually the school system is that the teacher actually teach you from kindergarten to 5th grade. So you you actually have 5 years of that relationship as a head teacher with the students. And so up until now, I'm still in touch with my teacher who's actually in 60s. And I've recently visited my hometown and I met with her and we took a photo. And I'm just wondering, as a teacher, do you actually see, something that you actually have done to inspire the child and you maintain relationship and maintain that contact? And sometimes it's interesting because when you see them, right, maybe 20 years ago, and then all of a sudden they come back, you see them again as a, obviously a grown-up, mature person. Do you guys have that experience of your teaching career? And is there something that Hong Kong actually offers that type of system, or is it just too, like you said, business-like?
I'm not that old, God, but I've been teaching for 8 years. I would say I've kept in touch with some of the families of the students I taught in Vietnam. And I have 2 or 3 parents and their kids who I still keep in touch with from one of the kindergartens I taught in Hong Kong. And right now, I do have a few past students from our school who still connect and communicate just to say, hi, Miss X, how are you doing? Miss X, I want to tell you today that I got an A in English. Thank you, you really helped me improve my English. But I have not seen them in their adult life. They're still growing. Yes, Mihi. Okay.
We have a Xola. We actually have a message from one of your students here. But I think there was a question before we do that. Oh, right there. There is a question before you do that, but it's written down, so our friend Utembi is going to do her best to read it out for you. Oh. But here you go.
I'll try to be as quick as possible. You are very effervescent and you are wonderful, you are brilliant. Forgive me for being forward, but if people don't know, Xola just graduated with her master's. Today is her graduation day. And there are so many things not just being in Hong Kong, but being away from home that force a resilience out of you, and you have seen and overcome and celebrate so many things. There's a positivity in you that I would ask if you would be so kind to share to anyone who might be feeling an inferiority complex, or anyone who might be doubting that they are capable of being themselves fully or even succeeding here in the profession or in whatever they're choosing to do. What piece of advice or encouragement do you have?
Thank you, Mihi.
Go home, strip naked. Stand in front of the mirror. Look at yourself. Whether you believe in my God or a different God, you are created in the image of God. Let the Godness in you remember that who you are is what the world needs. Stop hiding that person. Bring that person out. But most importantly, call yourself out. Listen to criticism. Because when people care, they talk. When they no longer care, they shut up and walk away from you. Learning is a lifelong activity. It's like breathing. You will never know enough. Keep learning. Keep seeking answers. And keep correcting yourself.
And congratulations on this feat. I do want to read the messages. Is it just one message or is it? It's 3 messages. Okay. Because I also wanted to be surprised along with everybody. I have not pre-read this, so you'll forgive the stumbling along the way. So we have the school, which we will not mention, and this person is in year 9. And I'll mention the name after. But it's titled Miss Xola, our Humanities and GP teacher.
Global perspective.
Right. Miss Xola Kubheka is a tremendous teacher. It literally says that. Although she is strict, she's humorous, humble, and kind. During the class, she always gives us tests, quizzes, homework, and plenty of classwork. She's putting in all of her efforts to help us prepare for IGCSE. What's that?
It's the next level in the Cambridge curriculum. It's like international high school.
It sounds very important. In the class, she always makes jokes and some interesting activities, example, 30-second and group projects. She is the one of the sweetest teachers that we ever met. She already taught us for 2 years, and we are forever grateful, and we love her presence. When we are going through hard times, she will guide and pray and cheer us up. She also taught us self-love. Self-love is very important to everyone. And this topic reminds us of how to stay positive. We would like to thank her for what she has done and her kindness. She would still want to see a happy, positive, funny, and humble Miss Xola. Or rather, we would still want to see. Okay, you're gonna make me cry now. Don't do that. We would still want to see a happy, positive, funny, and humble Miss X every day because of the love she shows us. Thank you, Miss Xola. And this is from, should I read the name? You'll read the name because you know who they are. And that's for you. That's you. This is you.
Okay, these are 2 people who wrote here. I see the difference.
Oh, you even know that
The writings.
That's so beautiful. That's so beautiful. I think this is a perfect way to end our evening tonight. To also just hear from the learners that are not here with us, but they've been able to communicate, to say, look, your effort, your hey, has not gone unnoticed.
Yeah.
So we are so proud of, I'm proud of you. And not only because of what Mihi just said, you didn't even tell me this in our interview, by the way. Like, she's hiding bombshells like this. But like, I'm so proud of you because—
It's for the job. I'm just gearing up for my students, not you.
I'm so proud of you. And also just thank you for sharing so openly, so honestly, and so beautifully. But what a beautiful evening. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Mrs. LG. Yes. Thank you, Dion. We love you. And where's Kayla? Oh, she's left. Well, thank you to her, as well as her really amazing man. Thank you for everybody. Thank you, Charlene.